Hello
What's going on, everybody?
to another episode of Alleys
Alleys.
of 77 in the Alley.
Yeah, buddy.
You might be wondering, why are we in an alley again?
Well, we'll
Great
tell you.
question.
We'll tell you in a
But
few.
before we tell you, go ahead, like, subscribe, comment. Actually, go ahead, leave a little garbage emoji comment for the alley.
Little trash
for the
can.
vibe,
Yeah, yeah.
Little trash can.
Yeah.
But today we're actually talking about something that couldn't be further away from an alley or garbage.
Right. Probably shouldn't be down in alley.
We're talking about farmers markets.
Yeah.
And before we tell you about the specific farmers market that we're going to talk about today, I kind of want to give a little bit of history about the origins. So farmers markets started as far back as the ancient Egyptians, about 5,000 some years ago.
Okay.
And they, would trade along the Nile, and obviously there was a ton of trade, but this was like specifically like weekly markets or whatever. I don't know how they measured time back then.
Right. With the sun. With the sun.
But-
It feels like a Tuesday to me.
But here in the U.S., markets started in the first recorded market was in the 1643 in Boston,
Okay.
and it was when the Europeans came, did their thing, discovered America, and they started markets here. So that was a very popular market.
Right.
Now, after that, a lot of other cities were like, "Oh, this is a moneymaker.
Okay.
Let's start doing that."
Yeah.
So they would have markets, and it moved all the way until eventually it reached cities like Chicago, and as the U.S. expanded, more cities got markets.
And that's where we pick up our story in 1999, just a couple hundred years after that.
Well, actually, I do have one more little fact.
All right, let's
So-
give me a break. This shit
Yeah.
is this
Heavy.
camera, that new camera heavy, man. Look, show ain't what it used to be. So we're gonna get to what we're gonna get to. And then we'll be right back.
So up until the 1960s, farmers markets were very popular. People would shop them every week. But then during the 1960s, grocery stores started getting really big. You started having chains. They became more accessible. They would start importing products from all over the country and other countries that you couldn't necessarily get. Like Illinois probably doesn't grow avocados. So now all of a sudden,
So
you
now
want
we
an
got
avocado.
avocados.
Now you have to go to a grocery store. You can't find it at the farmer's market.
Gotcha.
So farmers markets kind of fell off in the 60s, but then in the 90s, people started to care more about where their food came from
Yeah.
and what was in their food, and that's where our story kind of starts.
Yes. Our story starts right here with one of our most prominent farmers markets. And coincidentally, on State Street, there's this market. Our markets started late 19th century,
Right.
where we Randolph, Fulton Market, which
Yeah.
honestly are episodes on their own. So
Right.
we'll do that because that was huge. Also,
Yeah.
State Street is actually a huge part of that. However, 1999, the Green City Market started right here down this alley,
Actually, right there.
right there where my hand is right now. And so Green City Market has been around 25 years. They're celebrating 25 years. Legendary names have been made. Rick Bayless, Sarah Stagner, some newer things, Daisies,
Right.
which is one of our
there's,
favorites.
there's a ton of vendors, a ton of chefs that have participated. So
Yeah.
many great people kind of made it happen. The founders were amazing, but we want to kind of talk to one of the people that's on the team right now that can tell us a little bit more about the history. So we did hang out with Mandy Moody, who is going to tell us all about that history. So let her take it away.
Also, we're going to switch episodes, outfits 3 times this episode. So
Enjoy.
bear with us. Tell us which one is your favorite.
Yeah.
I'm Mandy Moody. I'm the executive director of Green City Market, and I've been with the organization now for about 5 years. So it's been a wild ride from COVID to now.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been so many changes every year.
Yeah.
It's been wild.
I could imagine starting in COVID, and then COVID
Right.
happens.
Yeah, you started 2019 then.
So I started 2019, and actually I started 5 weeks before the barbecue in 2019.
Oh wow! So
And
you,
I was like, drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
so much going on, so much to learn. And then we got through that and had just a nice winter.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened,
All right.
and we picked up e-commerce. We were doing all
Right.
kinds of different things. So It's been a wild ride the last couple of years.
I
yeah.
can't even imagine.
Yeah.
So like you're chilling. Like this is
Not
Yeah.
chill is
No,
chill,
never.
yeah. I'm gonna say chill is loose, yeah.
Never. Yeah. You know, what's crazy these last couple of years, like the last 2 or so years,
yeah.
has just been the growth that we've been experiencing. So when I started in 2019, we were welcoming around 175,000 customers to the market on an annual basis.
Wow.
Last year, 465,000.
Woo. Wait a
Yeah.
minute.
What?
Yeah.
No wonder
Almost
there's no parking
400%.
by like 8 a.m.
Wow.
I'm like, we have to be here at 7.
Yeah.
There's no
yeah.
parking. Yeah.
And like this year, numbers are trending even higher. Like we set a goal to
Wow.
hit 500,000 this year. I'm really confident that we're going to hit that. And it's incredible. Like we talk about visitor counts, right?
Yeah.
We have an amazing crew of volunteers who help us count that. People
Yeah.
are always asking, how do you count that?
I was about to say,
Right.
yeah.
Oh,
How do you keep track?
we got click counters at different
Really?
entrances.
I've never noticed.
They're
So it's sneaky,
Yeah.
yeah. I was about to say,
Down
yeah.
here having a conversation.
Yeah.
They're counting people and we count dogs.
Wow.
Okay, hey.
we do.
That dog count is what I want to see. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
like literally, it's funny. Here in Lincoln Park, we'll usually see a couple hundred dogs on a market day, but
Wow.
West Loop, because we're right by Mary Bartolome Park, that has a dog
Yep.
park right next to it.
Yeah.
That is a very dog-friendly market. But yeah, when we talk about those visitor counts, it's like always a really exciting number to share.
Yeah.
But what's even more exciting, I think, is how our farmers are reporting the growth
Yeah.
of their businesses,
Right.
Yeah.
right? Because when you visit, we love for people to be exposed to the environment.
Yeah.
But then when you take that first purchase, when you buy your first berry,
Yeah.
when you buy your first peach, you're like, oh my gosh, now I'm never going
Yeah,
back.
right.
And
Really.
they build it into a habit. So
Yeah,
it's
that's-
crazy to see.
Yeah,
That's
that
so
is
true.
amazing.
So you've been with the market for 5 years, but this year you're celebrating 25 years.
That's right.
25.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. So
wild.
we started back in '99. Abby Mandel was our founder. She's since passed away in 2008. But in those first several years, she just was so formative. And I've heard so much. I never had the pleasure of meeting her, but I hear stories that her legacy really, really lives on today. She was just a force. She was like,
Right.
came back from Europe, had experienced all these local food markets, and was like, we need this here
Yeah.
in our city. And so she just pushed and made it happen. She
Wow.
connected with the culinary community, Rick Bayless, Sarah Stegner, many others, to say, all right, we need you to kind of get behind this, and the chefs will help drive this trend of informing just the everyday
Yeah.
person on buying local and loving your food and knowing who it comes from.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is where I'm super intrigued, because there's, I'm not in the foods. I mean, I am now, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
bringing you in,
yeah.
all right.
Circa 2021,
Yeah.
but before then, I just ate food, and like to hear the story of Green City Market is just one that's just crazy. You started in the alley
Yes.
over by the Chicago Theater.
That's right. And we only had 9 farmers that first year.
That's
Wow.
nuts.
4 of whom are still with us today, 25 years
Wow.
later. So cool to see those farms kind of, just strengthening over 25 years
Right.
and how they've had to adapt and evolve over those 25 years. But now we have, here in the Lincoln Park location, we bring over 60 vendors throughout the market, which,
Wow.
like, it's incredible how much that has grown.
Wow.
And it's
Yeah.
like from everything. I mean, obviously there's a ton of farmers, but there's also like people making like prepackaged consumer goods. Like there's ready-made food that you can just hot foods that you can eat. Like there's so much.
And you know what's really cool about that? A lot of people don't know this unless you really dig into Green City Market, but those prepared food vendors and those ready-to-eat vendors, they are sourcing their ingredients from the farmers.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we have this wild, really intensive application process where we are working with food businesses and farmers
Yeah.
to understand how are you sourcing your product if you are a ready-to-eat or prepared food.
Right.
How are you sourcing that product? As new businesses are getting started, like we talk to folks at the info tent all the time.
Right.
They're like, how do I get into this market?
Right.
And we're like, let me tell you,
Yeah.
let's introduce you to some folks so that you can start building the relationships
Right.
so that you can be ready in a couple of years to come to Green City
That's
and spend.
and I feel like the trend
Yes.
maybe like when the market started was that, oh, let me like source these exotic ingredients from like halfway across the world to make these dishes. But now people really want to like, I want to like Daisy's is one of my favorite restaurants that does this. They're like, it's if Italy was in the Midwest, and I love that idea. Like
Yeah.
you're taking the ingredients that grow here
That's right.
and just kind of creating. You're still creating a menu that like is your own. It's unique.
own,
It's
yeah.
whatever. It's not like you're eating the same food anywhere else, but
Yeah.
it's just such local, hyper local. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, and I feel like that really ties into, you know, Abby's original vision of sustainability through the lens of like
Right.
environmentalism. How do we make sure that our food isn't traveling
Right.
hundreds and hundreds of miles to
Yeah.
remind ourselves that local food is available here in the Midwest, not just in the peak of summer,
Right.
right? Which is always all the famous
Yeah.
things people
Yeah.
know,
Right.
tomatoes,
Yeah.
Right.
strawberries,
Yeah.
peaches.
Uh-huh.
But we go year round. Our
Right.
markets run year round, and there is awesome like winter spinach. Overwintered
Right.
spinach is incredible. Root veggies, like just really great food all year round. And so I think people are really kind of returning to this idea of I can have incredible food
Yeah.
just right from
Yeah.
my backyard.
Yeah.
Which is really
Literally.
great.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that's the really, really cool thing. When I'm gonna go back to the history part of it, because it's like hearing you speak about it. Where you all started is very historic in a
Yes.
sense for markets in general in Chicago.
Yes.
You know, we're talking late 1800s is when markets literally started down on State Street,
Right.
you know, in Randolph and Lake and everything. And so, like, how does that heritage, like, kind of like still translate today?
Yeah, so I think it is, again, you know, anytime I'm talking about like how our farmers grow with sustainable growing practices or the value of a farmer's market in a community, it really is like it's a coming back in a new modern way
yes.
of how are we connecting to the land, putting our hands in the dirt, right? Talking to the farmer who really is out there every single day,
Yep.
growing this incredible food for us. And so it is like this wild kind of spyglass back into
Yeah.
history
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
hey, this is how folks used to eat.
Yeah.
And I think people today, especially coming out of COVID,
Yep.
really are hungry for that connection.
Uh-huh.
Right.
The social aspect of
Yes,
the market
yes.
is huge.
Yes.
And so I think that is the connection is really there. It's people.
Yeah.
Right.
And food, I
Yes.
think, you know, I'm so excited to be talking with you guys because is you know, your whole thing with history and culture.
Yeah.
Food is culture.
Yes, it
Right.
is. Yes, it is.
Everyone
So
has
true.
an identity, a connection to food, and it helps to build up the
Yes.
culture,
Yeah.
you know, in a community. And so I love that we're talking for that
Yeah,
reason
yeah.
too.
You know, and the community aspect of Green City Market is palpable when you come in here,
Yeah.
and the stories of who came from and helped start it and helped grow this is just
Yes.
insane. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so you know what's really amazing is just like we have these farmers who've been with us for 25 years, you know, Chef Sarah Stegner, Chef Rick Bayless, and so many others are still really integrated into the community.
Yeah.
Just across the way over on Stockton, we have a reserved chef parking because I heard you say
Oh.
is there parking down here? Could be a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
I
tricky.
see the sign. If you're
Yeah.
a chef, you could.
Yeah.
Yep. So pro tip, the
Yeah.
history lot is a good spot to go if you can't find parking, we validate. But it is that relationship building that the chefs really have
Yeah.
helped to drive.
Yep.
And so having those folks still around and still, you know, informing and educating the next generation of culinary talent here in
Right.
Yeah.
Chicago is so important. We
Yeah.
see chefs bringing out sous and line cooks and everything to just meet the farmer
Right.
and get to know
Yeah.
like, hey, if you want to make a really incredible dish, it starts from really incredible
Right.
ingredients, which start with a really incredible farmer.
Yeah.
You can,
Yeah.
if there's a break in
Yep.
that line,
Yep.
Right.
what you're putting on the plate at your restaurant isn't
Yeah.
going to be quite what you want it to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And speaking of chefs, I feel like on a normal Saturday you could probably run into a couple of them here at
Yeah.
the market pretty early. But other than the market, you guys also host like a pretty big event once a year here.
Yes. Yeah, the Chef Barbecue.
Chef Barbecue.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Chef Barbecue has been around almost as long as the market. It's been around a little over 20 years. And again, those same chefs that I mentioned and so many others, Paul Verant, and you mentioned Daisy.
Yeah.
So Joe Frillman has been with us for many, many years. We all come together right here in Lincoln Park where the market happens. And it is this literal magical experience.
Yeah.
Like you have to experience it. I'll try and describe it. but,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you just-
right.
You have to be in the magic of it.
Yeah.
But what's really, really cool is we have over 100 chefs
Yeah.
and beverage purveyors come out. They are creating these incredible dishes, either things that they feature at their restaurant. Daisy's is doing their overpriced
Yeah.
tomato toast,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is like
so good.
famous.
So
Yeah.
good.
Or they'll create and curate something totally like you can only have this at Chef Barbecue kind of a dish.
Exclusive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exclusive, like one-time only experiences. And you come, and what's cool about this event is that once you're in, you're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
You can't
how
not
many
yeah,
things
yeah,
can you taste?
Yes.
I
Yes.
guarantee you can't taste them all.
Yeah, right.
'cause there's so
Sounds
much.
accepted.
Oh, I was about to say, I will
Okay.
try. Yeah.
Yeah, do it. You know, I that's one of my favorite things when I'm walking around the barbecue and just seeing these people like really enjoy, and for some of them experience local food for the first time.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Because so many people discover Green City Market
Yep.
through the barbecue.
Oh, wow. That's a good way to start.
Yeah.
You know?
It is,
For real.
absolutely, because
Yeah.
you know, I think a
You
lot
see
of
the-
folks find food like it can be intimidating, or a farmer's market can
Right.
be intimidating, and what we do is really help break down that intimidation. Like, it's a place for everyone.
Right.
All you got to do is
Yeah.
ask questions.
Yeah.
You
You-
know, talk
Yeah.
to people.
You know, that intimidation aspect is, again, me not being a cook or just getting into this world. That's the part that kind of intrigued me the most with the market, because Sarah will tell you, I don't want to get up early to go to a market, but like,
But he does.
yeah, we come here and I'm like, I think what's not talked about enough in Chicago, like most things, is the narrative here is, oh, it's all bad. But there's a huge community of these chefs that know each other. We
right.
go from place to place, and then a chef will mention another chef. I'm like, how do you know that person?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, you know, that's me being naive, you know, and they know, you know, I think that's the cool thing about, you know, these events, the 25-year anniversary, to see all of them in one place and to see that unity in Chicago,
That's
you know,
right.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I am so grateful that we are the way we are here. I don't know if it's Midwest,
Yeah.
you know, vibes
It's Chicago.
or
Yeah.
what.
It's Chicago
right?
vibes.
But I travel all over the country and see farmers markets all over the country and work with a lot of farmers markets across the nation. And in Chicago, we have just this uniqueness that all of our markets, in addition to Green City, I'm a part of something called the Chicago Farmers Market Collective.
Okay.
And what we do is it's a group of about 40, 50 of us who are running markets all over the city. And we come together once a month and we're just like, you're having problems with parking? Us too. Like, you need this kind of a vendor?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
I have folks that I couldn't get in this year.
Wow.
So there's this beautiful collaboration that is happening
Yep.
where as we continue to lift one another up,
Yeah.
we're just strengthening that
Yes.
food
Right.
system
Yes.
all across the city.
Yes.
And the chefs have always really been a driving part of that. The philanthropy is unmatched.
It's unmatched, yeah.
I think by Chicago chefs, I mean, is evidenced by the fact that like chefs started
Yeah.
the Chef Barbecue.
Yeah.
Right.
The
Yeah.
name is not,
Yeah.
you know, the
Right.
name
Yeah.
is
Right.
because
It is what it is.
But it's not like actual barbecue. They're
No,
not
just
barbecuing.
barbecue.
Yeah, yeah.
So some do, but one of the cool things too is we get a lot of questions on like, I'm vegan, I'm gluten free, I'm
Right.
vegetarian. Is there going to be something for me? I hear barbecue and I'm
Yep.
like,
I don't know if I can come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
No, there's something for everyone,
Love
which
that.
is so awesome.
Yeah.
You literally like, and again, I got too excited. One of the two questions I love to ask are, what's been your favorite bite so far tonight? Because I'm just like, where am I going?
Yeah, yeah, right, yeah.
And then how many tastings did you get
Yeah.
to, right? I think the highest I've ever heard is 27 out of 125. So like,
That's wow.
Wow.
That's a fifth. Okay. I can
I
do
will
that.
try.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Is there
try
like
and surpass.
is there like an insider list that we can get ahead of the event?
So this year
Okay.
we're gonna have a digital program. So what's gonna be really cool this year is folks are gonna be able to scan a QR code all throughout. We're gonna have maps throughout the event. You're gonna be able to scan it, see what the chefs are also preparing, and then kind of plan out your route.
Oh, wow.
That's a
which
great
is really,
idea.
really cool because everyone has a little bit of a different
Yeah.
strategy
Yeah.
on how they
Yeah.
tackle barbecue. You can tell the folks who've been with us for the
Yeah,
25
yeah.
years.
They know.
They
know.
come with like the blanket, their own like trays, like
Love
they're
that.
ready to go to make sure that they can taste as
Oh,
much
so
as
people
they
can
want.
bring like blankets and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like I kind of describe it as like a Ravinia style feel,
Right,
right?
right.
Like you
Gotcha.
can come and it's really meant for you to go in and experience and chat with all the chefs, but then also, you know, hang with your friends and your
Yeah.
family,
Yeah.
coworkers, what have you, and just kind of sit.
Love
Now,
that.
if you want a table and you want a tray provided for you, we do have a VIP experience that gets you in an hour early.
Okay.
So skip
Oh,
the
so
line.
you can knock out 30 easy. If you pace yourself right, you can do like 5 before and then go on with another 25.
Right. You gotta
Come on
have
now.
you gotta have the strategy, right? I learned my first year, I'm like, oh, I gotta wait. For me, I
Yeah.
gotta wait to do the sweets until
Yeah.
a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
later.
Let it digest a little bit.
Right?
Yeah.
And pace yourself on the different, it's like
How many hours do we have?
So the event.
It's a game now.
yeah,
It just
yeah.
became a game.
Now we-
Yeah,
now
yeah.
we-
What's the
strategize.
math? What's the ratio?
Yeah, yeah.
So VIP starts at 5:30.
Okay.
Event goes till 9.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
GA
okay.
starts at 6:30. So
That's a
you
tough-
got
that is a tough
you got
window.
some,
Yeah, you got
time to
time.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of eating though in 4
Yeah.
hours.
Run a lap around the park. Come
You gonna have
back.
to.
You know.
That's
Digest.
don't have lunch.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't
right.
have lunch.
Ready.
Yeah.
Right.
Ready.
Yeah, that's pro tip. Don't
Love
have
that.
lunch.
Yes. The other thing, so we were talking a little bit about like, is there stuff beyond barbecue? So
Right.
absolutely, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, lots of different options. And
Okay.
those, we always suggest like if you do have a food thing that you need to let the person know, of course, make sure
Right.
that you're asking. But we do have signs that
Right.
mark that
Love
out.
that.
That'll be on this digital program as well.
Yeah.
But then for beverages as well, we know we have a lot of great like wines coming from Michigan, local
Oh my
breweries
goodness.
coming, incredible spirits, Judson and Moore, Quaval, like lots of great
Nice.
distilleries. If it's a barbecue event, is there going to be something for me there? So yes, gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, all kinds of options. You'll be able to find out that info in that digital program that we're doing. But then we also have incredible drink options. So there's local wines that we work with, lots of local breweries, and then local spirits. So we've got Judson and Moore, Quaval, and many others that are distilling here in Chicago. But for our folks who are just alcohol free, we're working with Ritual Zero Proof and several
that.
other zero proof, low proof
Yeah.
options because it is a Thursday night.
Right.
Yeah.
We know that some folks enjoy, just a cocktail
Right.
experience.
Like a
without
pretty
alcohol.
cocktail,
Yeah, yes.
but you don't want
Just to
yes.
kick it. I still got to
That's my
work
favorite.
Friday.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's right. And it's like, what is so cool, I love when I'm talking with the folks at Ritual, they're always like, soda and lime, soda, like, we're better, we can do better
Yes.
than soda and
Yes.
lime. And they do. So, like, it is really incredible, like, the crafting and the
Yeah.
intentionality behind those spirits and cocktails that they make. And then they work with the farmers. So they'll have, like, a very herbaceous
Yes,
love
see?
cocktail, working
that.
with Smiths, like,
Oh my
lots
God.
I gotta
of different
say,
options.
I think these NA cocktails are starting to become just as good, if not better, than some.
Yeah.
Frankly,
You know,
I'm with
so
you.
good.
because
I'm with you.
really, I just want the flavor and I want the vibe now.
That's
you know, 10 years ago, all right, I wanted the feeling. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
but now,
Right.
I'm
Now
old.
that, like,
you know?
you're-
Like, I'm old. I don't need all that feeling. I just want to
Right,
feel. I want to
right.
look good.
I,
You know?
I got to get up the next
Yeah,
day.
yeah, I got things to do, you know?
But it's fun to have something fun,
Right.
right? Like you aren't wanting to just have, and some folks we will have plenty of like water and all
Yeah.
of that,
Yeah.
like all around
Yeah.
as well. But it's fun again. It's fun to have something fun. It's fun to have something creative.
Right.
I especially love those cocktails and mocktails and zero proof drinks because for me, I love to cook. So I get in the kitchen and 9 times out of 10, my husband's like, "What are we having for dinner?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
know.
Yeah, yeah,
It will
I
literally
just-
reveal itself
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me
Right,
when it is on
I
the
don't
plate.
know.
right. Rain down on me. I got it.
Again, and if you start with great ingredients,
Yeah.
like you're gonna be happy with
Right.
what ends
Yeah.
up on the
Right.
plate. But I am less adventurous with, creating cocktails. I have several friends who like that's their thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
They make them and they enjoy a nice cocktail at the end of the night. That's just not me. So I really love experiencing the things that like I don't feel like now could I do it if anyone can do anything.
Right.
But will I, right? Like
Right.
I put my energy into cooking versus the cocktail crafting, but that's what makes barbecue so fun.
Exactly.
You can experience these
Yes.
things
Yes.
that you maybe otherwise wouldn't get, on a everyday, especially on a
love that.
Thursday,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
love that.
so the barbecue is, if you're watching this, it's going on time. It's going to be on the 5th, September
Of
5th
September,
of
yeah.
September, 5 p.m. for VIPs. So
5:30?
5:30.
Yep.
So you can see. Look at me
And
trying
then
to cheat.
6:30
Yeah,
for-
yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
You gotta like get
I know.
people get off work.
I know.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
get
yeah.
themselves
Got to be
here.
fair, you know.
Yeah.
And so we got a special code for you.
That's right. So 77 flavors BBQ gets you $20 off your ticket. And I will say tickets are like flying. So be sure to hop
Don't
on,
play.
Yeah.
grab
Yeah.
that ticket. And I definitely like if you want to do that VIP, I really recommend it because it's just such a great experience
Yeah.
to skip those lines, to get
Right.
to talk to the chefs, and to just give yourself a little more
Yeah.
time to
Yes.
enjoy the
Yeah.
event.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's my favorite part is like connecting with the chef.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
looking forward to.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and you know what's really cool when you kind of have those side conversations about like, hey, why did you pick this
Right.
tonight? Like, what
Right.
got you excited about this? Or you might experience, oh, hey, I was recently on the farm over at Jerry, with Jerry. I was checking this out, and he told me that this is something I had to try in my restaurant. So here we are. We're giving it a go. So I think, like, again, we talk about the cultural aspect, the social aspect of markets and an event like this. It's really built around the people.
Yeah.
So.
Hey,
Yeah.
we
I
love
love
to hear.
that. Well, we'll be there.
Yo,
so.
we'll be there. Come check us out. Happy 25 years.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
happy
much,
25
guys.
years.
Yeah, we're very excited and on and ready for 25 more. You know, we're growing every single year.
600K next year.
Yeah,
700.
that's right.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, absolutely. And all of our, all of our other programs too with food access, right?
Yep.
Welcoming folks and helping make the market affordable for their families. That's all growing. And so again, we just really want to convey that the market and Green City is for everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually,
local foods for everyone.
I feel like I wanted to bring this up earlier, and you guys do like link match, right?
What
is that?
Yeah, so Link Match.
That's fire.
So folks, Link or SNAP.
Yep.
So SNAP is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So it is food assistance, government food assistance that folks get, and unfortunately, what is allotted to a family or person per month is just, it's never enough.
Not enough.
Right.
Folks run out within the first 2 to 3 weeks
Yep.
of the
If
month.
that.
If that.
Yeah.
Yep. And so what we do here at Green City Market is we do a 1 to 3 match. So when folks use $25 off of their Link card, we will match that with a $25 GCM for all voucher. And then they get another $25 from our friends at Experimental Station through the Link Up Illinois program. So
So you get
$25
$50.
benefits, $75.
75. So
Yeah.
total. Yeah.
Total. So
Wow.
it's amazing. It's tripling
That's
that
gonna be
person.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
oh my
good.
God, really,
That's
for
so
real.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's incredible. And like, again, back to that social element, you guys, I think one of the coolest things, we're big on like talking to our community. And so we will have conversations, we do surveys and everything with the folks who are using this program. And beyond the fact that people are like, I can put healthy food in my fridge, on my plate, in my kids' bellies, all these things, is like, I feel welcomed
Right.
here.
Right.
I am treated with dignity and respect here. People miss me when I'm not
Right.
here.
Right.
And say, hey, we haven't
Right.
seen you in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Everything okay?
Right.
Like that's what gives me, I
Yeah.
just gave them to
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
That's what gives me goosebumps because I think it is really about like, again, it's building up that culture and it's, win-win-win. It's a win for the family who can have this access to the food.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
a win for their health.
Yep.
And it's a win for the farmers. This is money. So last year, over $250,000 we generated in purchasing power through this program
Wow.
into the pockets of farmers and on the plates of people who need that food.
Wow.
So huge, and it's
Yeah.
just. Again, but like I go back to, I'm like,
Yeah.
all of that is awesome, but also like when you tell me that like you feel respected coming into the market, when you
Right.
tell me that like people notice, that feels good.
Yeah.
When people
Yeah.
are like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah.
Literally,
it's amazing.
We were buying flowers just last week, and,
Yeah.
and someone was like, "Oh, I didn't see you last week," like cutting up the stems of the flowers.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love that. Like literally, I looked at him and I was
Yeah.
like, "That's
that's-
my favorite part."
You're seeing 20,000 people walking through the market
and
on
you
a Saturday,
recognize
and
it.
people notice.
Yeah.
People notice,
Yeah.
and so
I
that
love
is
That's amazing.
just, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I would say like what powers that work, what powers our mission is it's events like barbecue. So barbecue is
Yeah.
a fundraiser for us. Those ticket proceeds or sponsorships, all of that power that mission. So when folks are buying a ticket, when they're using that code,
Yeah.
you're not just getting access to an event, but you are lifting up local food. You are helping to secure that future food
Yeah.
for everybody. You're giving folks access.
Yeah.
You're educating our community about where their food comes from, why that matters. And you're supporting small business owners, farmers who are growing sustainably,
love that.
caring for the planet. And you're doing all of that
Yeah.
and enjoying more than 27 tastings
Let's
at barbecue on the 5th.
let's go. Let's go. Because I'm definitely trying.
That's right. Yep. I want the tally. I
Yeah,
want
yeah.
the tally.
we're
I can keep it on video.
Yeah.
That's right. There you go. Perfect. Yeah.
Mandy, thank you.
Thank you.
Again,
guys.
happy 25.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Party like it's 1999.
That's right.
Hey.
That's right. Yes. We love it.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. All right, so we are here at the farmers market, and thank you, Mandy, for that dope conversation. Get your tickets, 77 Flavors Barbecue BBQ,
Yeah.
and come out here September 5th.
I can't wait. It's going to be
Yeah.
an amazing time.
Gonna
But
be
also, it's a beautiful Saturday morning here at the
Beautiful
market.
Saturday mornings.
A lot of I love it just to like even just walking around and like chatting with people
Yeah.
and like watching people do their thing is always
Amazing.
so cool.
Always fun. We got that kombucha down here, but we are going to continue to do our little
we gotta
Saturday.
go because
Yeah.
we have to go spend some money at this market.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't wait. Their flowers are gonna go crazy. There's a
Yep.
ton of vegetables. So we're still like in kind of like summer vegetable mode. So there's
Yeah.
a ton of really cool tomatoes.
Yep.
So can't wait to do that. But yeah, if you can't make it to the barbecue, make sure you come out and check out one of the markets. I know we threw a lot of history there at you, so come and experience, like be in it.
Be in
Even
the
if you don't.
building.
Sometimes I come and I don't even buy anything. I just like to walk around and look at stuff.
She said. But just come on out here, y'all. just come on out here.
And please don't forget to subscribe and comment and like. And if you enjoyed this episode, tell us what your favorite thing to buy at the farmer's market is.
Yeah.
Because we would love to know. We'd love to know what you purchase. And if you didn't like this episode, that's fine. Come back next week.
Yeah,
We'll
for
have
real.
something better.
Yeah, for real.
Maybe. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
maybe
Maybe
not.
it'll be worse. Who knows?
Anyway.
But now we gotta go.